Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in, right? What's going on, y'all? So, okay, just have to make sure I cleared that. All right. We're gonna continue with the conversation from this morning. Shout out to ICIP13. Um, this is a continuation because he dropped a super chat literally within 5 minutes of me getting off. So, I didn't want him to drop that and not hear some of the rest of the conversation I wanted to have. So on this part, we're going to lean a little bit more towards the economics of what's free. And once again, this is a larger response to Bernard Riley and Game Changer, um, who were speaking about, essentially, and Game Changer was making some really good points. Essentially, it's women wanting men to be paying to be in relationship with them, right? And what Game Changer was saying is it's not even just paying to be in relationship with them. It's how much Black women in particular, Black American women in particular, are charging, right, for men to be Black men in particular to be in relationship with them, right? And the way they think about these things, right? So I found what Game Changer was saying very interesting. Some of the conversation led into 50-50 relationships and what that looks like. First, let's talk about this 70-30 relationship thing and how if you have a 70-30 relationship, how actually lucky you are as a woman, number one. Number two, um, the economic realities for Americans right now, you're lucky to have a man paying anything, to be frank with you. What's the median income for men in America? Some 42, 45,000, maybe 48, somewhere in the 40s. From women, it's somewhere around 34, 35,000 or something like that, right? Now, don't let some of the numbers that you guys are seeing cause you to be delusional. A lot of the data that's compiled about people's work is counting 40-hour jobs as if everyone has a 40-hour job, right? So be careful in the data that you're reading. Make sure make sure it says for all working Americans. And then remember that half of Americans don't work because we're counting the children, we're counting the elderly, we're counting, those on disability and whatnot, right? So we do have a lot of people who are just speaking very delusional about relationships and don't know what they're talking about, right? They don't know what they're talking about. The median household income in America is 67 and some change. Let's say 70. Let's round up and be kind and say $70,000 a year. The median household income in America, and yet you have Black women who are amongst the poorest women in America demanding that men pay for everything, right? Oh, exactly, Trell. And the retired and the incarcerated also factor into that half of Americans that don't work, right? That needs to be factored in also, yes. So we have Black American women who are demanding from American men, Black American men, the sun and the moon and the stars financially. We have content creators like Chrissy who are snickering and laughing at Americans, at Black women who are in 50-50 relationships financially. The median income for Americans is a median household income, excuse me, is 67,000. Let's say 70. That's two people earning $35,000 a year, right? Or one person earning 30 and the other person earning 40, right? And yet you have this content creator talking out of her ass, snickering and laughing at Black women who are in 50-50 relationships. Right? And then you wonder why your daughters come out here sounding delusional as hell. Even for the mothers that aren't a-holes and didn't raise a-hole daughters, look at what your daughter's consuming on the interwebs. All because she got her little heart broken when she was in high school or in middle school. Now she's listening to Chrissy and Yanni in Paris. Yanni's trying to cop please now, so we'll give her some space. Paris and Chrissy and Cynthia G, and these people don't know they ass from their head. All they have is rage porn content. Nobody's talking numbers outside of some boogeyman numbers to make black women and black girls scared of black boys and black men. If it's not something to inspire fear, they don't have anything to say. Meanwhile, how many Americans are in how much debt? Once again, another number to throw out there. 40% of Americans can't afford a $400 emergency. 60% of Americans can't afford a $1,000 emergency. 80% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. And yet black women on the interwebs are demanding a man pay for everything and essentially pay her for this relationship and that environment. Right? And the environment where 60% of Americans can't afford a $1,000 emergency, we have women making financial demands, not even no little financial demand. Pay all the bills. 50-50, what a joke. All right, then pay 100 of the bills by yourself then. These are the rather be single chicks, right? These are the, if I gotta do that, I'd rather be single. All right, then you will be. And you will continue to look at the average black man as the boogeyman, and you will continue to look at the average white dude as God, and you will have neither. Yikes. Right? You will have neither. And you will continue to tell us how happy you are being single, and then you're going to be looking like whoever that lady was that Game Changer covered also. I don't know if she's an attorney or a judge, right? In your more advanced or senior years, taking trips, right, by your goddamn self, right? Or paying to go on a trip with your nieces, right? Talking about rich auntie. No, you're stable auntie. You stable auntie with some money because you ain't spending on no man. Maybe the occasional 26-year-old that slide through knock the cobwebs out for you. And you definitely ain't spending it on no kids. You never had any. Right? So no one's going to tell the ladies the economic realities. They're going to listen to these bitter, angry, single, often single, faceless characters on YouTube. So you're going to listen to these faceless characters on YouTube, or these bitter, angry, daddy issue having, weave wearing, we need to abort black male sons saying, mentally disturbed people on the interwebs. You're going to listen to those people, and they're going to lead you to sound like them in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. Right? They're going to lead you to sound like them in a couple decades. Thinking that you're going to find some man, white, black, Latino, Asian, or otherwise, to come and save you from your 30, 40, 50, $60,000 in student loan debt, $100,000 in student loan debt. I think I shared on my community tab. If I didn't, I will be sharing it. Breaking Points covering a couple that called into Dave Ramsey. These are 29 and 30-year-old, so 31-year-old man, husband, 29-year-old wife. The wife's calling in, asking Dave Ramsey how can she save her marriage from this $1 million debt they're in. Yeah, you heard, $1 million debt. 2 people with advanced degrees. Only 20% of that debt is above average. So even if they were average debt, they would be $800,000 in debt. These are white folks, yo. $800,000 in debt between student loan, mortgage, car note, credit card debt. And these are 2 people with advanced degrees that live in the DMV area. For those of you that don't know, DC, Maryland, Virginia. And yeah, we got people poo-pooing 50-50 relationships, even poo-pooing 70-30. The women are you're lucky if you got a 70-30 relationship, ladies. And I know I'm going through the dead zone again. Give me 1 second, everybody. This is going to take about 60 seconds to maybe 120-ish before we get out of this. So y'all bear with me. I'm not going to say too much here because it's not like you guys can hear me anyway. Give me 1 second, everyone. Give me 1 second. We'll be back. All right, you guys should hear me now. Yeah, so, 1/3 of families in America earn $100,000 a year or more, right? Like I said, the median income for a household is about $70,000 a year. And yet we have content creators, the female content creators, encouraging Black women to don't settle for this, and Black women in luxury, and no struggle love, and if he's not paying this and this and that, y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. All of that sounds nice, right? What does it actually mean? Not a whole lot. And that is disheartening. You listen to, let's say you're 23 years old, you've been listening to Chrissy since she pretty much started producing content, so let's say 7 years now. So since your teens, you've been listening to her, and you don't really have nothing to show for it. She's just made you more rageful at men, Black men, and she made you to bust down for white dudes. Because it's only recently that she's been telling you that they've been playing the whole vet all men and don't be delusional when it comes to white men, and don't be, yeah. They only been playing that over the past couple of years. They've been trying to mitigate for all the insanity they've been saying for, well, not so much Chrissy, but other content creators going back a decade. The Crystalline Charisms of the world, going back a decade on the interwebs. They're now trying to mitigate for all the insanity they've been saying by saying, well, vet all men. Even Lexus Exodus, oh neo-Nazi self, even she had to put out a stream about the air quotes powdered dusties, the white dudes that do you worse than the Black dudes, right? So that's what we're seeing right now. A bunch of delusional people talking delusional to other young people and other delusional people, right? As I said, if 60% of Americans can't afford $1,000 emergency, and yet your favorite content creator talking to you about what you shouldn't settle for, you got to question what they're talking about. You ever look at the median income for different regions of the country, different states, different counties, different cities? It almost always hovers around that $35,000, $37,000 a year type thing. Median income. And yet you got people telling you what you shouldn't settle for and laughing at 50-50 relationships. And Mr. Z is saying that as a person that's doing way more than 50-50 financially in their relationship, in his relationship. Right? But these people are delusional. Or they know better, but they're still talking to you like this. And I don't know which one is worse. A content creator that's delusional and spreading that out in the ether, or someone that knows better and they're so incensed with black men that they send you out there to be delusional. Right? As I said before, let's go through it again. Median household, median house. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Median house in America right now is going for what, $480,000 right now? That's like the average or the median house right now. That's how much it's selling for. Meanwhile, the median household income is closer to $70,000 a year, somewhere around there. Right? %60 of Americans can't afford $1,000 emergency. Average new car price is somewhere around 50,000. It's 48,000. So let's say 50. Average used car price is somewhere around 33, 35,000. Huh. Right. And many of these women, college educated women, are walking out of college at least $25,000 in student loan debt, at the least. Right. So you walking out of college at least 25,000. Let's be honest, you're walking out of college with like $35,000 of student loan debt, and you got the unmitigated gall to tell men 50-50 relationships and do not apply. All right then, because what this really is can you buy me out of this debt and out of my bad attitude? I need to have a bad attitude, but people still talk to me with a bit of fear because they know who my man is. Let's call a thing a thing. I want to be mean. I want to be sassy. I want to be catty. I want to be gossipy. But everybody around the way knows better than to talk to me the same way or respond to me back in the same way because of who my man is. I need you to be a baller to buy me out of the student loan debt so that I can hurry up and move in with you because me and my mom don't get along. So I can still be mean and not have to worry about being fired from jobs. Because I could always lean on my man because he makes so much money. Let's be very clear. Let's be very, very clear on why these people want a man that pays for everything and why they want a baller dude, because they want to be they like I said earlier. Yes, what I said earlier in the other stream, which is yes, they see relationships as oppressive and they want a baller dude. If they got to be in air quotes prison in a relationship with you, then they want you to pay for everything. Okay, cool. Also with that is I don't actually want to change me, and I'm mean and I'm catty and I'm an a-hole. Right? I don't actually want to. I just want a man that earns so much money and is so known around my way that people know better than to respond to me the way I am. right? There's a lot of that going on also. Meanest people can't keep can't man if they can't keep one for very long. They think because I can't keep them. You know, and no that okay, all right, Keisha, all right. Because you think because you're the one initiating that means something. All right, that's it. You know. And Global Free Agent says, and thank you for the super chat, brother. He said, super chatting you with my overtime funds. They don't get that freedom in free. In excuse me, I gotta read that again. Give me 1 second. Let me get to the slide. Watch that up. Okay, let's read this again. Okay, super chatting you with my overtime funds. They don't get that freedom in not free. Yeah, because all that overtime is going to paying bills, right? Exactly, Trell. And Trell says, I want to be a bad bitch in red bottoms. Exactly. And Anubis said, in NYC, they're saying 300,000 is the new 100,000. Yeah, that sounds nice, right? That sounds nice, but let's be very clear. I've done this recently. This was within the past year or so. If you don't believe me, look up median income for the island of Manhattan, and it's way higher than the rest of the state. The rest of the state is still in the 30-something thousand range. Maybe they might have crept up in the early 40s. If you doubt me, look it up. Mr. Z is risking being loud and wrong right now. If you doubt me, look it up. Serious, I'm being serious. Like y'all can look it up while we're doing this live right now. Somebody tell me I'm wrong. Right? I think 1 in 3 on the island make $100,000 plus. Right? 1 in 3 on the island of Manhattan make like 100,000 plus, and it might not even be the whole island. Yeah, Mr. Z is one of those people that I go down the facts and figures rabbit hole when I find a data point, right? And I just start clicking and I just keep on going, right? Yeah, ain't nobody. I don't know where people get this, and this is television. Like some people were saying earlier in my earlier stream this morning, television, social media got people sounding delusional, but particularly women. Particularly women. They're watching these television shows and they really think people are balling out of control like this. And you even see it, you know, Courtney Ryan covered she did that thing that she does where she brings the women in and asks them about money. And even the woman that says, I do this thing, I do this thing, you know, I do the researching and I know the numbers. And even she highballed the number that she thought men made. And she felt embarrassed afterward. And she said, I should have known better. So if the women, and this is a white woman, if it's young, I think 25 years old, if I'm not mistaken, if the young woman that's doing the research and she actually knows better is still saying, you know what, yeah, I think they make more, then you gotta know the women that never do the research, they never look these things up, they only go off of what the nearest celebrity is saying. You know they gotta be delusional, right? You know they have to be delusional. I personally had a conversation once with one of my boys who was dating some girl, Latina, right? And I think she worked for IRS or she worked for one of these people. She knew the number. She knew it. And she still was saying, yeah, men should pay for everything. Hey, what's the median income for men? Oh, around 40,000. Wait a minute. So you know. And I was actually shocked. So you know. And she was like, yeah, but, and now she start copping, please. Yeah, but, exactly. Pay for everything at 40 grand a year, which really, let's be honest, after taxes, what you looking at more like 35. Your take home pay is closer to like 33, 34, 35,000, right? These people are delusional, everyone. Beyond so, right? And Kevin C, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you very much, sir. Right? And shout out to AB 83 Media, and he says, Z, they ain't ready. They ain't ready. If greedflation destroys this country, they're not. They're not. They actually wish they were the madams of the men that are pushing this, right? And for those of you, I'll probably share that also in my community tab. It's something that A sent me, right? It's something that AB sent me also. Shout out to AB Media. But yeah, we have a lot of delusional people, delusional women also, delusional men also, right? The difference is the delusional men aren't asking the women to pay their way through life. That's the difference, right? Y'all give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, everybody. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. We're back, everyone. We're back, and no, it's not food related. It was not food related. Hysterical. Before, before somebody say it. Oh man. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me? I think so. Yes. Okay. We are back. We are back. And like I was saying, it's not food related. It's not. And just sanity says the amount of 30-year-old cougars on dating apps is outrageous. They are desperate, brother. Brother. It. Yeah. Yeah. And like I said this morning, um, no one's being honest with the ladies, and a few of them. Let's be very clear. Some people know the numbers and they still playing a game, right, with themselves. Some people have a good idea. They might not know the number to the dot, right, but they have a good idea of what's going on in the country and the world, and they're still speaking this way and they still feel a certain way. Yes, right, 100%. But for others, they really truly are mad at the world. They're mad at black men. Then they're mad at their parents, they're mad at the world, and then they have the Chrissies of the world, the Yannies, the Paris Milans, the Cynthia G's, you name them, the Crystalline Karazins, right? The Lexus Exodus, the Mahogany Pink when she was producing content. That's also encouraging them to be even more angry and even more delusional. Now you have these 25, 30, 35-year-old, 40-year-old rageful people, rageful black women. They're angry at they're seething. That's why when you go out on a date with them, yeah, there's a thin veil of like some type of civility, but really they're angry. They're angry, and you start to see it little by little. Sometimes within the first second date, you see it, and they turn that date into a transactional situation because they can't help it. They just want to know what you're gonna pay for, what you're gonna do. And the thing is, because nobody tell them, like going back to this morning stream, nobody told them what the cost of free is. They don't understand. If you're going to interact with me with this neoliberal lens, viewing everything through commodity and financialization, then guess what? I'm going to respond the same. All right, cool. You want me to pay? How do you look? Excuse me, ma'am. Are you a 4 or a 6? All right, maybe I'll let you slide with an 8. Are you a 4 or a 6? You want to be? No, let's not. We're not even going to do the whole European beauty standard thing. Nope. How your nose look? Let's look at that hair. Oh no, yeah, it's not fair. Yeah, you're right. It's not fair. And now people start getting their feelings. You were talking to me like, what do I do for a living? How much money do I make? What do I drive? But when I respond to you in kind, all right, then how much do you weigh? Right? How tall are you? Do you cook? Do you have a cookbook? See, when I respond in kind, now there's a problem. Right? This is the real everyone. So going through the numbers again, like we said, and it's in my community tab. I have it somewhere in my community tab with the average home prices going for now. It's somewhere around 480,000, something like that. I can't remember it was average or median home price, but something like $480,000. Your new car is going for a tenth of that, around $48,000. So let's say 50. Used car price is somewhere around $33,000, $35,000. Like we already said, 40% of Americans can't afford a $400 emergency. 60% of Americans cannot afford a $1,000 emergency, and 80% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Right? Median household income in America somewhere around $70,000 a year. Right? Ladies, y'all want to know what the average is for you? 5'4", 169 pounds. That's average for women, not specifically black women. You could add another about 15, 20 pounds for black women. What about men? About 5'9", I think it was 189, 190 pounds, something like that. Maybe 195, somewhere around there. 5'9", right? I think it was average or median income for women somewhere around. So there's conflicting numbers. Some numbers are saying 25,000. Some numbers are saying 34,000. Either way, you're not making 40, right? Let's go. Let's be kind and say the average or median income for women is $34,000 a year, and for men it's 48. I don't know how that number ends up being 70. That's way more than 70 grand, but okay, cool. 35 plus let's say 48. That's like 80, damn near $85,000 a year. That's way more than that median. That's 70 grand. That's why these conflicting numbers don't make any sense. But even if it was $85,000 a year household income, even if it was being kind to all Americans, cool. $85,000 a year household income. You still ain't really. That's not baller money. That's all right. That's okay, right? Right. And Longo says thought the average B dub was 5'3", 187, and the average black man was 5'9", 199. Right. I would know. I was saying for all Americans, but yeah, you could throw that in there. Yeah, you could throw that in there. And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Yeah, yes. Right. So 6 inches shorter and only 13 pounds lighter. Not even 12 pounds lighter. Right. But I'm not even okay. Fine, black men are the garbage men of the dating world anyway, and somebody's gonna be walking around with their member in their hand trying to pipe anyway. Okay, fine, cool. As Chrissy said, black men are the easiest to get. Okay, black men are the easiest to get. Black men are the easiest to get. Fine. As Charles Faulkner Jr. said, black men are the garbage men of the dating world. Yes, cool. And so all we're saying when we say that is a roundabout way of saying women are the problem. They're single because they want to be. That's what we're saying. You can find another nice way of saying it, but that's what we're saying. Right? And that's okay. But then again, then we have people that have a problem with 50-50 relationships. And then we have people who have a problem with 70-30 relationships. In a country, once again, at best, the median household income is somewhere around 70 grand. And if we're being supremely generous, it's somewhere around 85,000. If we're being generous. Right? I know 1/3 of American households are around $100,000 a year or more. 1/3. And guess what? They barely could still they barely making it too. Believe it or not, two people earning 50, or the wife earning 40 and the husband earning 60. And yet all these content creators, female content creators, black women content creators, talking out of their ass. That's why Mr. Z. That's why I agreed with Edward Anderson about telling. All right, then go date out, go date white, because I know how that's gonna look. You keep on thinking the grass is greener. You don't even know what's going on, and you don't care to know. And that lack of understanding and that willful ignorance, that's how you get hit with this Mack truck. Right? That's how you get hit with this Mack truck. That's how you get played with the white dude and you stay married to him, bragging about, oh, our divorce rate is so low with white men and that. You mean the white dude that's only earning like $45,000 a year, but you won't divorce him because you're embarrassed? All right, cool. He earning 55, 60. That's all right. That still ain't baller money. And we ain't even going to talk about the black women that are in relationships with these non-black dudes, and she's still the primary breadwinner. We're not even going to go there. That's too easy. Right? And these content creators that are promoting swirling, divesting relationships, and they're making six figures because of their YouTube checks. You want to tell me you're not making more than a lot of those white dudes y'all going on dates with, and a lot of those Latino dudes you're going out with? You want to tell me you're not earning more than them, especially if you got a 9 to 5 and you're doing numbers on YouTube? You telling me you're not earning more than those dudes? And for the Chrissies of the world, if you're dating at your age or above, you're dating 40+ year olds, and I bet you still making more than them. Put money. And yet you snickering and laughing at women, black women that are in 50-50 relationships. It's a whole lot of people talking way too much on the interwebs. What are you saying? And like I told y'all listen to them long enough and they catch their own self up. Man. And KW Don says, and thank you for the super chat, brother. And KW Don says, the average home price in Toronto, Ontario, Canada is 1.1 mil and minimum 200K to qualify for financing. Bro, first of all, how are people supposed to live? We could have a whole, I really want to make a stream about class and income, and I want to do another one because I got pretty close to it in a couple of videos, but I want to do another one and really drill down on what we're actually telling young people to do with their lives, right? And I'll even bring in these delusional people talking about no 50-50, no struggle love, right? Calling black men dusties and losers and all. We can bring those people into it for the conversation too, so they can explain how this is supposed to work even when you date out. Okay, white men earn some average $10,000 more than black men. Fine. So let's say that's 50,000. Let's even give them 55,000. He still ain't paying everything in that house. At best, you got a 70-30 marriage, and y'all still ain't buying everything new. Somebody got a used car in that house, or y'all pushing both of y'all pushing Civics and Corollas and Camrys, and there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not the baller life y'all keep on claiming. Translation, what is Mr. Z saying? Somebody's lying. Y'all either lied about the 50-50 relationship you won't settle for. You lied about the baller white dudes or even baller black dudes y'all ended up with. Or maybe you're telling the truth and you're single as hell and you're perfectly okay with being single if you can't meet the baller. And that's why you're single. I said meet the baller. Y'all met him. He piped and left. Be with the baller. I'm sorry. Right? Somebody's lying. is what Mr. Z is saying. And Detroit says, wait until crypto when these black men, when these black, no, let's do that again. Wait until crypto when these black men start cashing the F out by leaving the country by that option. Brother, you know, it's even worse than that. Look at the dollar right now, where the dollar is. A lot of these people don't know how much their life is built off of the petrodollar and the dollar being the reserve currency of the world, right? A lot of people in general, but specifically women, because they're not even interested in this thing. They don't find it entertaining, right? I'm not gonna say all these people names, but you know, we have an email list, and we're trading these videos with each other. We're sending each other, you know, different emails about, hey, did you see this? Did you look at what's going on here in this country? Look at what's going on with the economy here. Look at what this politician said there. Look at what this influential person said there. Are the women doing that? No. Check their community tab. Check the stuff they cover. At best, you get Yanni, and look at her perspective. Ouch. At the best, you get Yanni. We're not talking about Juicy. She occupies a different lane. We're not talking about nappy-headed Hoba. She occupies a different lane. But when you talk about that black women empowerment, black women entertainment type of lane, everyone, you get Kim Foster, but she's on some black feminist stuff. But the ones about living life in luxury and that money stuff, that's Yanni, that's Chrissy, that's Paris, that's those Cynthia G's. The best you get is Yanni. That's the best. Translate, where is the bar then? The bar is in hell if the best you get is Yanni. Trail, I'm not messing with you, Trail. I ain't even gonna read it out loud. I'm not. I'm not. Right? All those content creators on that side, the hashtag Black Women's, the divested, all of them. What they saying? $70,000 median household income. What are you talking about? That means half of American households. Remember, black people only constitute what? 12.5%, 14% if you're being supremely generous. So at best, another 35%. That means if all black people were in the poor side, on the bottom 50, you got another 35% of American households that earn less than 70 or less. Right? These people aren't doing the math. They're not, and they don't care to. Let's be very clear. Not only are they not doing the math, they don't care to. And that's negligence on that's why I speak the way. Look, I would argue half of my subscribership are brothers my age and older. That's why I speak the way. That's why y'all never see me like lecture down to y'all or whatever. Half the brothers know as much as me, if not more. Right? And I'm careful on how I speak for the brothers that's younger than me, because I don't want y'all to go out here being angry at black women for no reason. I'm very careful with my wording. That's why I don't say stuff like what Chrissy said. Well, if black women don't move like this, if they don't build this, if they don't do this for us, then they ain't ish. Translation, if they don't move the way Mr. Z says move, then they ain't ish indefinitely. What type of foolishness? That's why I don't speak that way. These other content creators, these the black female content creators, right? And I'm tying that to the overall conversation by saying I'm here with the little bit of knowledge I have, or whatever wisdom I have, or whatever information I come up on that I could share with other people, black people primarily, black men primarily. I will do that. And of course, I'm going to give my perspective on it and my spin on it. Right? I have a whole lefty rabbit hole I'm going to go in a minute. Right? When I say in a minute, I don't mean on this stream. I mean in a couple of videos. Right? But I'm careful on how I speak about these things. These other people, that's why I told you, they don't have no principles. They don't stand on anything. But they want to be conservative and liberal and progressive at the same time. They want to be feminists while living under the umbrella of a patriarchy with no patriarchs at the same time. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying the way I'm saying it. Right? They want to be free while being provided security at the same time. They want to practice negative liberty without others practicing negative liberty also at the same time. They don't stand on anything except doing whatever they want to do whenever they want to do it, free of consequence. Which would probably explain why Kim Foster is so obsessed with speaking about people wanting to be draconian in their punishment of black women. No, you just don't want to deal with the consequence of being an a-hole. You don't want to deal with the consequences of the retarded rhetoric as a Harvard graduate that you spew. Let's bring back, we don't need these Negroes feminism. Median income for black women is what again? We don't need these Negroes. Yeah, they do. Oh, yeah, black women do. Oh, yeah, they do. If I ever met, I don't care who's around. I don't care if her man is around. I don't care if FD Signify is around. If I ever met Kim Foster face to face, I'll say that term. You said, let's bring back, we don't need these Negroes feminism. Right? And actually, these women do. Right? And on that note, you guys, that's for me. That's emergency situation. So let's read this real quick, and then we'll go off. Wait a minute, something's going on with this. Okay, I got to read it in a different type of way. All right, cool. They are lying. I have 2 used vehicles in the garage, college debt, and a mortgage. It's not easy, even earning well above the middle income level. And I believe you too, brother. And I believe you. Right? They are lying. They talking out their rear end. We know this. We know this. Right? They're talking out their ass. We know this. And like I said a couple months ago, they're waging jihad on black men using other black women, using the sensibilities and the feelings and the hurts, right? And the hurt, excuse me, I said hurts. Hurt, right? What are we renting cars? The hurt of other black women, right? For them to be spewing this type of stuff, like I told y'all, Yanni's the best y'all get over there. Because now she's trying to cop please and say, yeah, that's why I respect average men and da. Yeah, that sound nice. You ain't really, that's not what you were saying a couple years ago. Right? And on that note, everybody, will pause right here. Love, peace, and shit. Look, better you being Mr. Z late. Right? Better you. I might do another stream about something else later on tonight or maybe early tomorrow morning. We'll definitely try to get in something at least by early tomorrow morning. Wait, today's Tuesday, isn't it? Yeah, Art New Style is doing a stream today, so I'm gonna try not to step on his toes. If anything, I'll just hurry up and get in and get out later on tonight. So yeah, everyone. Okay, on that note, yeah, exactly, Detroit. And Detroit says now she's switching up again. Yeah, exactly. And Shrell said advancing slowly, exactly. Right? Better you weren't late, you just were advancing slowly. Right? And on that note, we'll close out here. Like I said, we'll pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all definitely go check out Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. Like I'm starting to say more and more for the love of God because Jesus, right? For people to be poo-pooing 50-50 relationships and then even 70-30 where the man is providing 70% of the income, right? He's paying for 70% of the stuff and y'all still talking crap. And this country with this economy currently, could you just admit that you just talking? You're just talking. And you talking from a place of anger and rage and spite. And some of them occasionally will say that. Chrissy has kind of alluded to that. But then be honest about what that means for your subscribers. Right? Just be honest about what that means, because remember, you have the ears of teenagers and 20-something-year-olds. And you sending them out there to be bust downs for white men, and then you occasionally bring on a white man and be like, oh, wait, don't y'all sound delusional about white people, because white men are still extra regular, and then you continue with your regularly scheduled programming. Chrissy, one video you chastising your subscribers and followers for talking about it and not being about this divestor life, and then on the next video you bring in the white dude Zach to tell them to not sound like neo-Nazi divestors. You're just talking from a place of anger, and that's okay, but you're like perpetually in that place, and you're leading other black women. And Chrissy, you're smart enough, when you get to the edge of the cliff, you're going to stop right there, and all those women are going to fall off the edge of the cliff into a pool of antidepressant pills and attempted self-deletion and a lifetime of loneliness. And you're going to stand at that edge and be like, well, I mean, I told y'all. And so we'll truly pause right there. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day, everyone, and Mr. Z out. All right, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.